Good morning everyone. Welcome to Grade 4 Mathematics class. How are you all doing today? So today let's learn about equivalent fractions. You might have learned this in your lower classes. Let's see an example. In page number 82 of your textbook, you can read out this question. Ekta has 8 apples. She wants to share a few apples with her 4 friends. So she has 8 apples with her and she wants to share it among 4 of her friends. How can she share? How can she do it? She can either give some of the apples to her friends as whole apples, or she can cut them into pieces and distribute them. So let's see the different cases. Let's see the first case. In case 1, she is going to share it as whole apples. So she has 4 friends. So out of these apples, she is giving 1 apple each to each of her friend. So how many apples will she give? She'll give 1 each to 4 friends. So that would be a total of 4 apples given to her friends, right? 4 out of 8 apples are given to the friends. So what is the fraction of the apple given to her friends? She gave 4 out of the total 8 apples. So the fraction is 4 by 8. Now she has some apples left with her, right? So she gave 4 out of this 8, and what is the number of apples left with her? She is left with 4 apples now. So what is the fraction of apples left with her? She has 4 by 8 of the apples left with her. So this is one case. Now what if she is cutting these apples into pieces and sharing it among the friends? So in this case, she cut each apple into 2 equal halves and she gave 2 parts each to 4 of her friends. So when she cut all these 8 apples into 2 equal halves, how many pieces of apples are there, or how many halves are there? See, 1 apple is cut into 2 equal halves. So there are a total of 16 pieces or 16 halves, right? And she is giving 2 parts each to each of her 4 friends. So that would be 2 parts to 1 friend, the next 2 parts to the second friend, 2 parts to third friend, and 2 parts to the fourth friend. So it would be the first friend gets 2 parts, the second one gets 2 parts, the third one gets 2 parts, and the fourth one also gets 2 parts or 2 halves of apples. So what is the fraction of apples or apple pieces given to her friends now? See, in all she gave how many pieces or how many halves? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She gave 8 halves of apples to her friends. She shared 8 halves of apples among her 4 friends. So what is the fraction? It was 8 pieces out of the total 16 pieces, right? So we can write the fraction of apples given to her friends is equal to 8 by 16. Now how many pieces are left with her? She is left with 8 more pieces out of the total 16 pieces. So what is the fraction of apples left with her now? She is left with 8 by 16 of apples. Now look at these figures. Here you can see 2 halves. If you put back these 2 halves together, you will get 1 apple, right? So these 8 halves put back together will give you 4 apples itself, right? Here also, what is left with her? From the pieces left with her, if you put back the pieces together, you will get 4 whole apples, right? So this was the same case when she shared the whole apples in the first time. When she gave 4 whole apples to her friends, she was left with 4 whole apples. In this case also, effectively, she is left with the same 4 apples, right? So you can say both these cases are the same. Or considering 8 pieces out of the total 16 pieces, or 4 apples out of the total 8 apples, or 1 part of the total 2 parts, these are all the same cases. You call these fractions as equivalent fractions because in effect, you call these fractions as equivalent fractions because effectively all these fractions have the same value. So let's define equivalent fractions once again. We can say two fractions are equivalent if they have the same value. Now how do we find out an equivalent fraction of a given fraction? If you are given a fraction, you find the equivalent fraction by multiplying both the numerator and the denominator with the same number. Hope this is clear to you. Now look at these figures given here. We can see rectangles here. In the first case, the rectangle, the whole rectangle, one whole is divided into two equal parts and one part of it is colored. So what is the fraction of the colored part in this case? It is 1 by 2. Here also the rectangle is divided into two equal parts. The fraction of the colored part is 1 by 2. Here the whole rectangle is divided into 8 equal parts and 4 out of these 8 equal parts are colored. Here also the rectangle is divided into 8 equal parts and 4 out of the 8 equal parts are colored. Here the rectangle is divided into 4 equal parts and 2 of it are colored. So here the fraction is 1 by 2. Here also the fraction is 1 by 2. Here the fraction is 4 by 8. Here the fraction is 4 by 8 and here it is 2 by 4. If you observe closely, you can see in effect all these mean the half of the rectangle is colored, even if they are divided differently in different methods. So you can say all these fractions 1 by 2, 4 by 8 and 2 by 4 all do have the same value or they are equivalent fractions. Hope this is clear to you. Now let's do one question. All of you please take your notebook. You can write the name of the chapter and put the date and please take down this question. Find any three equivalent fractions of 2 by 3. Have you taken it down? Now, how are we going to find out the equivalent fraction of 2 by 3? Given a fraction, we can find the equivalent fraction by multiplying both the numerator as well as the denominator with the same number. So let's multiply the numerator and denominator with the same number. So you are asked to find out three equivalent fractions. So let's multiply the numerator and denominator with the numbers 2, 3 and 4. So in the first case, the given fraction 2 by 3 is multiplied in both the numerator and the denominator by the number 2. So it's 2 into 2 by 3 into 2. That is equal to 4 by 6. Now multiplying by 3. 2 into 3 by 3 into 3, which gives the equivalent fraction 6 by 9. And in the third case, 2 into 4 by 3 into 4. So that gives 2 into 4, 8 by 3 into 4, 12. So we got three equivalent fractions and you can say 4 by 6, 6 by 9 and 8 by 12 are three equivalent fractions of 2 by 3. Clear? Now, you can see this picture in page number 83 of your textbook. This is an exercise. Try this. What portions of these figures are shaded? Write two equivalent fractions for each. You can do this as an activity now. All of you please pause the video, finish this activity and come back. Hope you are done with that. Now let's discuss the question. So what is given there? You can see three figures there. Let's consider the first figure. Here, how many parts are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 equal parts and one part of it is colored. So what is the fraction of the colored portion here? It is equal to 1 by 4. Now, you have to write two equivalent fractions for this fraction. So let's multiply both the numerator and the denominator with the same number. So shall we multiply with 2? So I'm going to multiply the numerator as well as the denominator by 2. So that gives us the equivalent fraction. 1 into 2 is 2 by 4 into 2 is 8. Now we are asked to find out two equivalent fractions. So let's take one more number. Let me take 3. So let's multiply both the numerator and denominator by 3. So that is 1 by 4. That is into numerator. In the numerator we are multiplying by 3 and the denominator also we are multiplying by 3. So that gives 1 into 3 3 by 4 into 3 12. So we have got two equivalent fractions, 2 by 8 and 3 by 12. Let's look at the second figure. In the second figure, how many total parts are there? You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal parts. And 2 out of 6 equal parts are colored. So the fraction in this case is 2 by 6. Now shall we write two equivalent fractions for this? Let's multiply 2 by 4. You can take any number but make sure you are multiplying the same number in both the numerator and the denominator. So I am taking 4 here. 2 into 4 it's 8 by 6 into 4 24. We need one more fraction. Shall we write one more equivalent fraction here? So our fraction was 2 by 6. We need to multiply it with 2. So that is equal to 4 by 12. So we got 8 by 24 and 4 by 12. Let's see the third case. In the third figure, we can see one whole circle is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 equal parts and 3 parts out of it are colored. So the fraction here is 3 by 8. Shall we write two equivalent fractions? 3 by 8 is equal to 6 by 16 and 3 by 8 is also equal to 12 by 32. 3 into 2 6, 8 into 2 16, 3 into 4 12, 8 into 4 32. So you can use different numbers, you can take different numbers but make sure you are using the same number to multiply both the numerator and the denominator. So I hope these are clear to you and you have to go through all these topics once again, which is in page number 82 and 83. Then you have to move on to exercise 6.1, which is in page number 83. You have to complete the questions, question number 1, 2, 3 and 4. To do these questions, for the questions which are given spaces in the textbook, you can work out in the textbook itself. The other questions you have to note down in your notebook and work out. So that's all for today, children. Once you are done with the activity, you have to take the picture and send us through Teams. We will meet in the next class with a new topic. Until then, bye.